I just wanted to hop in really fast and say please forgive me for the quality of most of this reading vlog. I tend to read a lot right before I go to bed, and the lights that I have needed their battery changed for the first part of this video. That's why it was so low and terrible lighting. Just ignore that. I promise it'll be a little bit better in the future. That's about all, so thanks. I've never done one of these before, but they seem really fun. The lighting is atrocious because it's like 6 a.m. and I need to put new batteries in my string lights. So I have wanted to do a reading vlog for quite a while. They're fun to watch, I enjoy it. And I really like the full spoiler vlogs. I don't like the non-spoiler free ones unless it's by like a couple people that I follow. I am a full spoiler kind of person. If I'm gonna talk about a piece of media or literature, I'm gonna be spilling the details. I did not start this when I first started this book, but I just finished part 1 of The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. And I don't know if it's because I'm 22 when I'm reading this, almost 23, instead of being 11 or 12 when I first read The Hunger Games. But this book is fucked. This book is so... This is a fucked up book. And I know that was the point. It's a dystopian novel, but maybe it's because some of the events are just reflecting a little too much of what's going on. It's also like 6 a.m. and I've been reading for the past like hour and a half. I don't really have a brain cell. There were some parts in the book that I've had to set down or have made me feel kind of sick. And I don't really feel sick when I read literature. It's not something that tends to bother me. I love horror. I don't really like gore that much. I think gore is tacky. That's personal opinion. There's something just so... I don't even know how to describe it. I don't think I have the intellectual capability at the moment, so I'm gonna do my best. The most shocking part of it has been really just how many fucking people are dying. I mean, I was not expecting Arachne to die. I kind of was expecting the District 10 girl, Brandy, to die. I find it interesting that they mentioned that her knife handle was Mother Pearl. And I know that sometimes details don't mean anything more than just being a detail so that the reader can understand what the author is seeing in their head. But sometimes with Suzanne Collins and her writing, it's kind of something to pay attention to that I've noticed so far. Secondly was the displaying of the tributes bodies has been horrendous to read about. I'm also a former mortuary science major. Death and funerals and stuff has been what I've wanted to do. I think that partially hits me in a way that, the whole Clemencia thing. Dr. Gall is a fucked up woman. She's brilliant scientifically, but I think she's also a testament to how far a person can go, or how far science can go. It's not sitting well with me, and I think it's because it's too much like what we're all living through right now. When I did read about the snake part though, my cat was sleeping on my bed next to me, and afterwards I closed my book for a second. I looked at him and I was like, are you fucking seeing this shit? As if he can read. Love him though. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling a little conflicted about this because it's fantastic writing, objectively, technicality. Suzanne Collins is a fantastic writer. I think it's just because I'm 22 reading this instead of being the 12-year-old that I was when I first read The Hunger Games. I reread the original trilogy when I was 20 or 21, and it's just something... I don't know if I'm letting my childhood love of it and my misunderstanding and ignorance of the topics in the Hunger Games trilogies sort of put these glasses over me as I reread the trilogy every so often, that this book is not doing that to me. This book is not allowing me any moment of peace as I'm reading it. It's fantastic, and I'm so glad I picked it up. It's a hard read. It is a very difficult read so far, and I'm only on part 1. I'm gonna end this now. I'm gonna go to bed. Maybe see how I feel when I wake up, because I want to keep reading this, but I don't know if I have the emotional capacity to deal with that right now. I'll see you whenever I see you again. I just finished reading the district interviews, and my empathy for Snow is at an all-time fucking low at this point, because why in the hell would you be jealous of your tribute in the Hunger Games? What in the fuck is wrong with you? I'm so over Snow. Ugh. That's how I feel about reading that chapter. Am I supposed to feel bad for him or something? Because I just don't care. I don't care. Oh, we used to be poor. Shut up. Oh my god. I'm having a very difficult time reading this because I genuinely do not understand how fucked up you gotta be to be jealous of somebody that's essentially being sent to their death. Also, can we talk about the bombings? I'm not over that. I still think about that, actually, and I read this like a couple days ago. Hi, it's been a while since I have updated the reading vlog. I'm actually almost done with the book. I've got like 100 pages left, and I just mainly wanted to talk about a couple things. I have not been able to stop thinking about the conversation that Tigress had with Snow. It's like during the beginning parts of the games, I think. It's chapter 12 of part 2. She says, I don't think anyone who survived the war in the years after can blame her for that, because they're talking about Lucy Gray living off her charms. And Tigress is talking about how she doesn't blame Lucy at all, and Snow is like, I don't understand like why you're not more upset with her. And then Tigress says, we all did things we're not proud of. Snow is like, you didn't. She says, didn't I? Tigress spoke with an uncharacteristic bitterness. We all did. Maybe you were too little to remember. Maybe you don't know how bad it really was. How can you say that? That's all I remember, he shot back. Then be kind, Corio, she snapped, and try not to look down on people who had to choose between death and disgrace. God, the fact that I knew instantly what she was talking about is like so gut-wrenching, and it's one of those things that you read that will either stick with you for a very long time or will stick with you for the rest of your life. That's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life. Tigress's rebuke shocked him, but less than her alluding to behavior that might be considered a disgrace. What had she done? Because if she'd done it to protect him. Would he have just preferred to not know what sacrifices she might be willing to make for him? Her comment was vague enough, and so many things were beneath the snow that he could say, as she had of Lucy Gray's song. Well, that could be anything. Did he want to know the details? No, the truth was he did not. So that line specifically to me implies that Snow might have an idea of what Tigress did. Oh my god, I'm so scatterbrained talking about this, but it just like makes me feel kind of sick because Snow was very young and Tigress is like 3 years older than him. It's one of those things that if you were raised a girl, if you present as one, if you have any sort of experience being a woman, being female, being whatever, then you know exactly what Tigress is talking about. And then in part 3 that I just read a couple days ago, I've been busy with school, when Billy shows up at the Covey house in the seam where Lucy is, and he's like wailing on her verbally, not physically wailing on her verbally, and she says that she did what she had to do to keep Maud Ivory from starving. I knew exactly what she was talking about too, because she's like, I might flirt with people and everything, but I did what I had to do. I'm like, girl, you don't have to say a single fucking thing. And the fact that Snow might have an idea suggests to me that he's like being willfully ignorant about it. Weaponized ignorance. That's what I want to call it. And that's what I'm going to call it. Oh my god. Also, I'm fucking glad Snow is a peacekeeper. I'm glad that he's suffering. I'm so glad that he is in a very uncomfortable state of his life. I'm so fucking glad. I still don't like him. He annoys the shit out of me. Do I still want to watch the movie? Yeah, of course I do. But anyways, it's been one of those things where in the back of my mind as I'm reading for the rest of the games, it makes me feel physically sick to my stomach because I know exactly what both women are referring to. Well, woman and girl, because Lucy is 16, even though it's technically considered a woman to some people. It's been like a sledgehammer is the best way that I can describe it. Like Lucy and the Hanging Tree. Bitch, I have listened to the Hanging Tree official audio for the soundtrack.
My God. Haunting. And I think it's perfect. I think that Katniss is descended or she has family of Lucy because of the way that she describes what she looks like. She looks like Lucy Gray Baird. And I think that's partially why Snow was so drawn to Katniss in the original trilogy, is because she looks like Lucy. And I just wanted to give an update on that. Sejanus, I love that guy. I love that guy so much. Oh my God, he's great. It's interesting. He rejects the Capitol, and I think he signed up to be a peacekeeper on purpose, or like he purposely went into the arena either to die or to become a peacekeeper, because he knew that's how he was gonna get out of it. Kind of like with Snow. And you know what? Like, I'm gonna say it again. I'm fucking glad Snow is in a very uncomfortable state of his life right now. But that's all I wanted to say about that for now. Good God, this has been quite the book. Quite the fucking book.
Oh, pause this. You can hear my laptop because I'm listening to music. Sejanus had money? This bitch has money. For once, I can't blame Snow for being surprised. I can't blame him. But also, why the fuck are you snooping through your coworker? I hesitate to call them friends. Why are you snooping? Ah, nosy son of a bitch. I'm reading the chapter about the Jabberjays and the Mockingjays. The fact that Snow literally just goes, "We should kill them all." Bitch! You know it's fucked up even when the head scientist is like, "What?" Of the Capitol. The person that designed the Jabberjays is even like, "What?" I Snow just gets progressively worse and worse as the novel goes on, and I know that's the point, but it's making it really hard to finish this book. Snow is a conniving, devious, backstabbing little piece of shit. I hate this man so fucking much. I just finished chapter 27 and I'm ready to kill him. He's going to kill Sejanus by doing this. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, spoilers, but I already gave you a warning, so if you're expecting me to not have any spoilers, I don't know what you're doing. He's going to get Sejanus killed by recording his confession. Are you fucking serious? And the fact that, like, Snow hates music is, like, the biggest red flag. And he's in love with Lucy, a songbird. A baird, which is, I believe, it's either Scottish or Irish for bard, which is the music person. Also, Lucy Gray singing to Maud, the...
Okay, I just realized in my entire vlog, I haven't really talked about the games themselves, and I haven't really talked much about my high bottom theory and much about Sejanus. Okay, the games. First of all, the amount of death before the games began. Wow. I cannot believe how many tributes died and how many mentors died. I know I talked about the bombings, but that was genuinely one of the craziest fucking things I've ever read in a book, and I've read a lot of very shocking things to happen in a book like this. I think that Highbottom has a morphling problem because he's the creator of the games and he has become so ridden with guilt. Actually, so Snow's father and Highbottom had a falling out, right? They used to be friends or whatever. Two theories. We'll see which one is correct. First theory is that Snow's dad actually came up with the games and then Highbottom took the credit for it, and like the same thing when like you say a joke in class and then somebody else hears it and then says it out loud and then everybody laughs so they get credit for it. It's like that, but with the Hunger Games. Secondly, Snow's dad is not his actual dad and it's Highbottom, and that's part of what the argument about his mother was about, or something like that. Okay, paternity. There is some weird paternity shit going on. Those are my two theories. But my main theory is that Highbottom has guilt over something involving the creation of the games. Also, Dr. Gall's fucking crazy. She's brilliant. She's a genius, but she's fucking insane and she's terrifying. Oh my god. She scares the shit out of me. And I think I've met a couple of Gauls in my life. Not necessarily in like an academic or like a career field, just attitude wise in general. I am so like this whole time like I'm probably going to reread The Hunger Games after this. Sejanus. Let me just talk about him for a second because actually I don't know if I can because every time I think about him like I kind of want to cry because I feel like something's going to happen to him. Number 1. And number 2, there is something that's incredibly human about him, and I don't know how to say that without sounding kind of silly, but he feels so much more human. Like he feels like a reader like me or a reader like I guess us if you're watching this video. People that didn't grow up in luxury or are transplants, that sort of thing. It just oh my god, the fact that he went into the arena and then he sprinkled breadcrumbs over Marcus. Oh my god, and then he did it with the other tributes that got killed in the there's something so Sejanus is like raw to me. Like he's such a raw character that I'm like, you're too much for me to read about sometimes. But the fact that he is so willing to be like, man, fuck the Capitol. Fuck you, hoes. I don't like any of you. Like the fact that he makes that known, he's either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid. But I think you can be both. I think you can be brave and stupid. And I think that sometimes bravery comes from stupidity. Kind of like how they say ignorance is bliss. I think that some bravery is stupidity. Anyways, I never really talked about those parts of the book because I was so focused on the conversation between Snow and Tigris. I'm still fixated on that, by the way. I'm still not over that. I'm still not, as you can probably see, I'm still thinking about it. I think about this on a daily basis. Something's going to happen to Lucy. Something is going to happen to Lucy, and I'm going to be so upset about it. And I just know that the end of this vlog is not going to be fun for any of us. So that's all I want to talk about this time.
I am so pissed. So Snow is like, oh no, Sejanus isn't gonna get in trouble for this. He's not gonna be arrested or anything. Like, his dear old daddy's just gonna buy him out like he always does. Like, does Snow not realize that Sejanus is in with rebels? Like, a literal treason? What did he think was gonna happen when he recorded that conversation with the Jabberjays? I feel like Snow is very smart and very stupid at the same time. So just like that, they fucking hung Sejanus and Lil. I fucking hate Snow. I absolutely hate him. And then he has the audacity to be upset that his actions got Sejanus killed. Hung for treason. Like, what the fuck did he think was going to happen? What? And why is he acting like the victim? He is not a victim. At least in this situation, he's not. Snow's blaming Sejanus. And then he goes into his fucking locker and starts eating his shit. I would be haunting Snow from the grave if I were Sejanus. Yeah, his last words being Ma over and over again. Good. I hope you fucking feel bad. And honest to God, I think Lucy knew exactly how Sejanus got discovered. I think she knows. Because she was at the hanging and she looked at Snow with like absolute terror. I know she was probably like, I don't want to think that you would do that, but I hate this man. My predictions were correct. Gaul got the message from the Jabberjay. Sejanus did want to be I hate you bitches. I have to hold this. But why is Snow taking credit for Lucy's actions in the arena in the Hunger Games? She's wearing the rainbow dress from the arena, and he's like, oh, it's for me. What kind of selfish, vain, conceited piece of... Ugh! An overwhelming flush of love ran through him at her reminder that he was not alone in this tragedy. They were back in the arena fighting for survival, just the two of them against the world. What? You sat your happy little ass down and watched people die. You were not in that fucking arena. I was right. My theory about High Bottom's problem, I was right. I was like 3/4 of the way right. Oh my god.
I just finished The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Good fucking lord, what a book. I hate snow. I really, really hate snow. And I really hate that we don't know what happened to Lucy. Let me give my final thoughts on this book. Is so Suzanne Collins is a genius. What happened to Lucy? We're never gonna know. I think she lives, personally. I don't think she's dead. I don't know how long she lived, but I think she lived long enough to have kids. Or this was a crazy book, very dystopian, very much. It hits a little too close to home right now, but it was really fucking good, and I feel like I am 12 years old again. Oh my god. I just want to know how Snow can go through all of that and still not be even like a slightly more decent person. Whatever, I think he was born like that. Final thoughts. I love this book. It was very frustrating to read, and I keep thinking about the fucking conversation that Tigress and Snow had. And I keep thinking about what Lucy Gray said. And I hate how easily Snow thinks himself into hating the people around him. He's killed like 4 people. Bro's a serial killer. Snow has killed 4 people. And the fact that he hates music, oh, it's like the biggest red flag ever. I said it before, but I'll say it again. I don't care. Thank you for coming along with me on this journey as I read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and fucking lose my mind over it. I'd also like to say thank you for the love on Makeup and Mumbling episode 2. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, get off your phone, drink some water, go outside, and have a very happy spring, summer, autumn, winter, wherever you are, or a good day or night. Bye!